Imagine you're at a dinner party or a work meeting. Someone asks a question about a complex topic, maybe video editing, neuroscience, or how the cryptocurrency market works. You know the answer. In fact, you know quite a bit because you spent 3 months obsessed with that subject, reading books and taking courses. But just as you're about to speak, an inner voice stops you cold. "Don't say a word," that voice whispers. "You're not an expert. You're just a dilettante." If you speak, someone who actually knows the subject will unmask you, and they'll realize you're just a fraud who knows a little bit about many things, but nothing in depth. Does this sound familiar? It's that strange sensation of having an insatiable curiosity, while feeling that, for every new skill you acquire, your professional value decreases. Welcome to the world of polymathy, where imposter syndrome isn't just an occasional visitor, it's a tenant that pays rent. Today we are going to dismantle one of the most painful mental traps of our century. The belief that if you aren't the #1 specialist in a tiny niche, you have no right to claim knowledge. We're going to understand why your multifaceted brain is, in reality, your greatest asset, and how to silence the voice that tells you that you are a bit of everything and a lot of nothing. Reframing, the tyranny of specialization. We live in a world that idolizes the specialist. Since the Industrial Revolution, we've been told that the path to success is a straight line. Pick one thing, do it for 40 years, and don't look sideways. If you look sideways, you're scattered. If you change careers, you're inconsistent. But here is the first revelation. Extreme specialization is a historical anomaly. Great figures like Leonardo da Vinci, Marie Curie, or Benjamin Franklin didn't ask themselves if they were imposters for painting, researching radioactivity, or inventing lightning rods at the same time. They were polymaths. The term polymathy comes from the Greek polymaths, meaning one who knows many things. The problem is that you are comparing your generalist knowledge with the vertical knowledge of someone who only does one thing. Naturally, in that comparison, you always feel small, but what you aren't seeing is the combinatory power. You don't know a little bit of everything. You know how to connect dots that the specialist can't even see. The mechanism, the neuroscience of divergent curiosity. Why do you feel like a fraud despite your achievements? There is a scientific explanation for this, and it has to do with how your brain works. The inverse Dunning-Kruger effect. You've likely heard of the Dunning-Kruger effect. People with fewer skills tend to overestimate their abilities. But polymaths often suffer from the inverse version. By studying so many subjects, you are painfully aware of how much you don't yet know. Because you have a panoramic view, you see the vastness of the ocean of knowledge and think, "I'm just on the shore." The specialist, looking only at their fishbowl, believes they know the entire sea. Cognitive load and neuroplasticity. Your brain is highly plastic. When you jump from learning Python to studying art history, you are forcing your neurons to create cross-disciplinary connections. This is called learning transfer. The imposter mechanism in polymaths is triggered because you don't have a single title to define your identity. Identity psychology suggests we feel secure when we can say, "I am a doctor," or "I am a carpenter." But when you are a marketing strategist who knows design, behavioral psychology, and audio editing, your identity becomes fluid. That lack of a solid label is what your mind interprets as being a fraud. Practical strategies. How to reclaim your multifaceted authority. To beat this mental trap, positive thinking isn't enough. We need tools to reprogram our perception of value. Tool 1. The inventory of intersections. Instead of listing your skills separately, find where they touch. Example, you aren't a mediocre writer and a novice programmer. You are someone who can write code and document it in a way a normal human can understand. That is a niche of one. Practical tip. Write down 3 skills you have and find the midpoint. That midpoint is your zone of genius, where no one can call you an imposter because no one else has that exact combination. Tool 2. The 80-20 rule of learning. Accept that to be useful and valuable, you often only need the 20% of knowledge that generates 80% of the results. If you know enough about design to communicate with a designer and enough about sales to close a deal, you are more valuable to a company than the best designer in the world who doesn't know how to talk to a client. Action. Stop measuring success by vertical depth and start measuring it by horizontal utility. Tool 3. The Cross-Functional Achievement Journal. Every time you solve a problem using something you learned in a foreign field, write it down. Did you use the logic of music to organize an Excel sheet? Logged. Did you use the patience of gardening to manage a team in crisis? Logged. This provides your brain with evidence that your polymathy works in the real world. Warnings. When scattered, isn't polymathy. We must be honest, not everyone who jumps from topic to topic is a polymath. ADHD and neurodivergence. Many people with ADHD feel they know a bit of everything because the search for dopamine constantly leads them to new interests. If you feel you never finish anything and it causes clinical distress, the solution isn't just fighting imposter syndrome, but seeking focus management strategies. Learning procrastination. Sometimes we study many things to avoid the hard work of executing one. If you are learning how to launch a podcast for the 5th time but never hit record, imposter syndrome is serving as a defense against the fear of failure. Psychological support. You are the bridge, not the fraud. I want you to take a moment to validate what you feel. It is exhausting to live with the feeling that you are always missing a certificate, a degree, or external validation. But listen closely. You are not a jack of all trades and master of none. You are a master of synthesis. In a world where machines and AI are becoming the best specialists on the planet, the human ability to connect disciplines, to have empathy for different areas, and to innovate through blending is what will keep us relevant. Your curiosity is not a factory defect. You aren't scattered. You are vast. You aren't lost. You are exploring. Be compassionate with yourself when you don't know technical answer number 500, because you are likely the only one in the room who knows why that question was important in the first place. From imposter to architect of ideas. To wrap up, let's summarize what we've discovered today. Polymathy is your natural state. Specialization is a tool, not an identity. Value lies in the combination. Your competitive advantage is born at the intersection of your interests. The cure is action. Stop collecting diplomas and start collecting solutions that only you can create. If you feel like an imposter today, remember that real imposters don't worry about being one. The fact that you're asking the question is proof that you care about excellence. Reframe that restlessness as the signal of a brain that always wants more. Your turn. What is that strange combination of skills you have that you've always felt doesn't fit? Tell me in the comments. I'd love to read how you connect your own dots. You are more capable than your fear allows you to see. Don't stop exploring. See you in the next video.